Uh, Mr. Edry, the last question from our show is: people, suffered from the worldwide activities of such ideologies, such of communism, fascism, racism, social degeneration, moral collapse, poverty, hunger, spiritual emptiness, illegal activities, killings, conflict, war, and etc. Such ideologies just brought such manners to the humanity last century, and they have still the potential to bring in this century as well. What do you think, we should do? What could be done to educate, particularly the young generations, that these evils are rapidly dragging the world to the brink of a material and spiritual collapse?
It's actually a question that I get asked quite a bit.
Yeah.
And the best answer that I can give is by example. There are plenty of examples in the world nowadays to show the younger generation what not to do.
Can you hear me?
If you look, is he back?
Yeah. Ronnie,
Yeah,
are
I'm
you
back, sorry. Yeah, I have,
Yes.
I don't know. Sorry, Jerry, you were talking, sorry.
That's okay. The question was, how can we educate the younger generation away from some of the bigotry and the evil things in the world and the killing and the wars and so forth, to get them to move away from that for future generations. And what I was saying was that there are plenty of things in history that we can show the younger generations, and also the education that the younger children, and I'm talking 4, 5, 6 years old, in that area, what they get taught at home is a very big, important step, because racism and hate and bigotry and a lot of the different things that we see going on in the world, those aren't something we're born with. Those are learned or taught. So a lot of the things I think that we can do for the younger generation is to be able to open them up to the world more, rather than just educate them within their own community, which seems to be pretty much the norm here in the Western world. I know in the Middle East they're more of a broader education, a worldwide view. I know there's a lot of people in high school in the Middle East right now that go to high school that could point out Lake Michigan on a map, and I can tell you for a fact that most people in the U.S., you can ask them where Istanbul is, and they may point towards Israel.
Same difference.
Yeah. So the thing of it is our education system itself needs to be more logically and realistically based. We need to live what we talk about too. We're all basically peace activists, and I know what we portray to younger people is what they grow up learning. People learn, by what they see and what they hear. So I think the best thing we can do for the younger generation is to give them something to look to and an example to live by. And also, we need to broaden the education system. I mean, there are trillions of dollars being spent around the world on wars. And if we can come past the wars and get to peace, those trillions of dollars, or at least part of them, can be putting into education. And not a fascist education, or not a communist education, or a socialist type of education, but an open education across the board that teaches everything, that teaches religion and science and even atheism and creationism and evolution and everything. I mean, teaches everything on a broad, wide scope, so that people get that knowledge and they grow up with the knowledge and being sure enough in themselves to know which direction they want to go as to where their conscience tells them what is right. When we have education systems, or we have tradition, or we have sentimentality or romanticism in different sects or religions or atheism or different countries, and those guide people, then people grow up not knowing what everybody else may think. I mean, there are people here in the West that have no clue about the Middle East. There are people in the Middle East that don't know anything about the West or the North or the South, because we haven't had the kind of communication until we've had the last couple of years. So I think another thing we can do for the younger generation is to get them to realize that, hey, there's a big world out there. Talk to people.
Yes, and Ronny, and can we have your response to the question, please?
Yeah, first I totally agree with you, Jerry, and what I was trying to tell you before, it's the first word that comes out in mind, it's compassion. We have to teach compassion from, from the beginning, and trying to show our children that the other side is same as ours. And it's really complicated in a war zone, in a place when, you have missiles falling and you have, threats coming. It's really complicated to show that, to teach compassion. But you have to make an effort, and you have to watch what you're saying at home, because the bad words are taught home, and it's all about, the language you're using when you're talking about, the other side. So you have to be really to make sure that you use the right words, and this is the main issue: education. The young ones, they are the future. So we definitely have to spend more time and money and energy in raising, the next generation.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, I mean, what you're doing is being an example, and the slogans you're using is very good type of education. For example, you said Israel loves Iran, and then Iranians responded to that, people of Israel will love you too. We don't bomb Iran, you said, we don't want to bomb to Iran. And the Iranians responded to that with love. That is the way, very good way to call the people for peace. And is a very good way for education also, because by seeing that kind of people exist like yourself, and the slogans you're using that goes into directly their hearts, and the people come together, peaceful people come together, and this is a very good way to do that. Actually, if Onur can show your posters on the screen. Onur, can you show the posters, please? So the work Ronny is doing actually be very good one. But what needs to be done is also good people coming together. Ronny is very important. People with wisdom like yourself, for example. Because individually there are a lot of things we can do, but coming together will generate power. For example, we see your posters on the screen, Ronny, right now. Iranians say, it says, "We will never bomb your country." This is beautiful. We love you. This is one of your posters. And then you said, "We are sharing peace, love, and excellent breakfast." Is in Iran and Israel. It says, "I am Israeli, I am Iranian." This is a beautiful one also. And then on the buses we see Israelis will love you, and then Iranians will love you. This is a beautiful way for doing this. And so we agree with you, we appreciate, and we congratulate for the work you are doing. You're being a very good example. That is the reason why a lot of people are joining this campaign, and we should increase this actually. And we invite you to Istanbul. You can be our guest here in TV channel A9 in live broadcast. And we should bring our resources together and to prevail, to establish peace, not only in the Middle East, in the entire world, showing these people there is no reason for conflict.